Welcome to the 700 Club. An act of war, so says Secretary of State Mike Pompeo following Saturday's attack on Saudi Arabia.
Iran is firing back, promising all-out war if the United States or Saudi Arabia retaliates. CBN's Jenna Browder is in Washington with the latest on the explosive tensions in the Middle East.
Secretary of State Mike Pompeo called the attack on Saudi Arabia an act of war. But so far, President Trump has held his fire, stopping short of military action.
There's plenty of time to do some dastardly things. It's very easy to start, and we'll see what happens.
Seeking to build a coalition to respond to the attack, Pompeo issued the administration's strongest statement yet during his trip to Saudi Arabia Wednesday.
We were blessed that there were no Americans killed in this attack, but anytime you have an act of war of this nature, there's always risk that that could happen.
And on Twitter, Pompeo tweeting he supports Saudi Arabia's right to defend itself. Saudi Arabia says the drones and missiles came from the north, but has stopped short of saying Iran carried out the attack. Senator Lindsey Graham, one of the president's biggest allies, says the administration needs to act quickly.
They're testing us, they're testing the region. And I think if we don't act decisively now, the worst is yet to come.
President Trump, though, says not so fast.
I don't want war with anybody. I'm somebody that would like not to have war.
Standing with Robert O'Brien, his pick to replace John Bolton as National Security Advisor. Trump says all options are on the table.
There are many options, and there's the ultimate option, and there are options a lot less than that. And we'll see. We're in a very powerful position.
You say the ultimate option? Are you talking
No, I'm saying the ultimate option, meaning go in war.
Iran denies its involvement. Its foreign minister told CNN the consequences of a U.S. or Saudi military strike would be all-out war, and that Saudi Arabia would have to fight to the last American soldier. And Iran's leaders were scheduled to be at next week's UN General Assembly in New York, but it appears those plans are up in the air right now because their visas haven't come through. President Trump does say he would allow them to come. In Washington, Jenna Browder, CBN News.
Well, firing a cruise missile against a neighboring country and specifically targeting their economy, you're saying we're going to take out your oil production, so we're trying to kill your economy. That is an act of war. And when you look at that, what's the response? What are you supposed to do? Now let me give you a scenario. What if Iran had nuclear weapons and was able to put a nuclear warhead on a cruise missile? What would that mean for Israel? What would that mean for Saudi Arabia? What would that mean for the region? Well, at that point in time, everything becomes hostage to what, by all accounts, is a rogue regime who is the primary sponsor of terrorism, state-sponsored terrorism in the Middle East. They directly fund terrorist groups. And that's been proven for decades. So this is a very tense time. What is our response going to be? What is the response of Saudi Arabia? Well, we'll see. In the meantime, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is fighting for his political life. Yesterday's elections put his Likud party slightly behind the Blue and White Party. And what's Netanyahu now offering his rival? Chris Mitchell has the answer.
Netanyahu is calling on Benny Gantz and his Blue and White Party to join him in forming a national unity government.
Benny, it's on us to form a broad unity government. Today, the nation expects us, both of us, to accept responsibility and work together.
In a video message, Netanyahu said he had met with the other right-wing parties and they would negotiate as a block of seats.
We cannot go to third elections. There's no reason to. I oppose it.
With more than 97% of the votes counted, Gantz's Blue and White Party is ahead with 33 seats to Netanyahu's Likud at 31. But 12 potential seats on the left are held by the Joint List, a combination of Arab parties. They have never been in the government and aren't likely to join this time either.
So if there is a coalition between Blue and White and Likud and Lieberman, of course, you will see major policy differences on issues of state and religion, issue of drafting the ultra-Orthodox to the armies, but you will not see major policy differences on Iran or on Gaza or on the security situation in general.
The election results will be finalized in the next few days. Then the official process of forming the government takes place. That could be a tough challenge, as security issues from Iran to Gaza may take center stage. Chris Mitchell, CBN News, Jerusalem.
Well, yesterday the results showed that it was tied, 32 seats versus 32 seats in the Knesset. Well, now that tie has been broken, and it's 33-31 in favor of the Blue and White Party. Now what happens? Usually the party that has the most seats gets to name the prime minister. So will that be Benny Gantz? Well, have we seen the last of Benjamin Netanyahu? We're going to find out over the next few days.